Should be Saunderstown?
I think that's part of the question. I kind of would envision that question as kind of listing, you know, and where else kind of question. Where else should we put it in?
Anywhere but here.
Not my favorite.
We're not doing shore fishing.
I assume so.
Yeah, shore and dock. I mean,
Right.
the east one.
Right.
So, yeah, so it's sort of part of that waterfront business question. Prohibition boats.
Is there a question about pool? Is there, do we have any choices there?
Just access.
Do we have a choice?
Well, I think if the town puts going that they want to go there and they want to have access to it, then we can certainly put a policy in to work with the state to allow access. I mean, I'm just
Well, that's a
guessing.
good idea.
Yeah.
I think gold run right now, they have a problem with that.
Yeah, I would
It's
agree.
no longer military control.
Right.
So,
Right.
but it's still a torpedo launching station.
We asked a question in the last survey about historic districts, and it was really kind of on the edge as to whether people really supported it. There was some support, but it wasn't overwhelming. So I think that's probably still an important question to ask.
Absolutely.
Historic view preservation is kind of like, I would say, kind of ties into all the other vegetation management, view preservation questions, but
What does that refer to? Does that mean preserving the houses and?
no, I would say, to me, well, I don't know, what does everybody else think? It's not really what I think. I would say, I mean, I kind of looked at it as, historic view would be, you know, looking down Narragansett Avenue and seeing the bay, you know, or, you know, having Shoreby Hill clear, or
Having the house on the rock stay there.
having that exactly. So maybe it is really.
Use of windmill, things of that sort, yeah.
Yeah.
Like whether there's trees around the windmill versus no trees around the
Yeah,
windmill?
but are those historic views or scenic views?
Oh, I think they're both.
So if they involve historic buildings or a view that might have ended up on a postcard?
I mean, does anybody feel strongly that we should combine it with all the topics that we had over there that included viewshed protection?
No,
No?
no, that's,
Keep it separate?
yeah.
All right.
It does seem to relate, it brings in the other element of historic buildings and landmarks.
I just think when you raise the question, you don't need to define what you mean by historic, because I'm not sure what.
It would be
When I think
helpful.
historic, I think history,
Clarify it now.
visually seeing history, is, I'm not sure what exactly.
I have a feeling that that would go under, would be similar to buildings or values, we'd have to define what a historic view was.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure anybody would, majority of people know exactly what you intended is, so I think they can read
I think it boils down to prioritizing the views too. I mean, if you prioritize, if people feel there's a need to prioritize historic views of the windmill, the bay from Narragansett Ave, et cetera, that's important. And it allows you to prioritize those so that you can create a plan to manage those views.
Right.
Which means identifying which they are, what they are.
Is that following your buildings or value?
I would, what's the question that goes with number three? Do we want to identify buildings of value that are then come under zoning?
I think identification is possibly one issue and regulation is another
Yeah,
issue.
so I mean,
Yeah, so maybe
so the
ask.
question is, do we want to identify buildings of value that could come under special regulation?
Protection.
Yeah. You know, but, I mean, that's the issue, is it how I want to do it. Is the last one just teaching Jamestown history in the schools?
It says language, music, Native Americans, arts. Yeah, I think just pulling that whole historical and cultural resources into the school system. And the town taking an active role in that, I think is probably,
What language was being talked about?
I don't remember anybody talking about a specific one.
Historic language, like Indian language?
No, we're talking about cutbacks in state funding, which would in turn affect the cultural and artistic and language programs at the school negatively. So the point was, do the
Oh, that's under
people-
cultural.
Yeah, do the townspeople feel that these things are important and find a way to prevent cutbacks on those?
Right. So the question is, how important and do we want to support them? Is it partly do we want to support them because they're being cut back on the state level? What public buildings do we have that need historic renovation?
For one row?
Anything else?
Maybe
For
rec
Getty?
center,
Rec center?
Fort Getty doesn't have any, oh,
the fire station.
Fire station? I don't know, I didn't put that in there. Does anybody recall what they meant when they suggested that?
Is that number 5?
Number five?
Yes, cafe.
Already renovated.
already renovated, you say? I wonder, we have so many different areas that we've asked about public funding for X, Y, and Z. Is there any point in putting some of that together? You know, like where, of the various things that we spend public money on, rather than answer yes on page 10 and answer, question number 4 on page 8, is there a point to just saying, okay,
It might be worth, having.
I think
public
either could go
funding.
under, I think maybe services and facilities, because we do talk at the beginning of that section about town budget and how much is spent on this and how much is spent on that. Or it could go in economic
But
development.
if
way.
you had a general question, then
I think that's a good point.
on that, then list, 10 items and
Yes.
and instead of either have people rank them in the survey, this is the most important one,
Right.
and then you can take,
yeah, there
that
should be.
that would then give a nice weighting, hey, this item got, 80% the public wants to support this item, although nice, only 10% supported spending total funds on.
Right. Yeah, I think that would be a great comparison.
To help the town council prioritize in the budget, what's the more important items to the town.
Right. That's a good point. We do ask that question in a couple of different sections.
I have a question that we can add to that. Whether Jamestown feel it's important to use town funds to fight the LNG.
Can we talk about LNG?
But I mean, that's a town funds one, which actually came up in the town council. And they're wrestling mostly to backing away, but maybe that could go under the using, but maybe that should go under expenditure of town,
Okay.
money.
Yeah.
Could easily be a contrarian on that one, and say that it's, in my opinion, better to keep the questions about funding with public money spread through the categories.
Because maybe you don't have to put them
So
against
you
each
get
other.
somebody feeling good about historical answers and maybe they feel good about spending some money to preserve some of the historical things in town, versus putting it on a list, it might get lost in the prioritization of water and so on and so on.
Yeah, but if we end up saying, no, we want to fund everything, we're going to end up not funding it.
Well, but Lisa, when you collect the information, you can easily take those funding questions and aggregate them somewhere.
You can always ask them separately and then at the end kind of make a list also.
That's what I'm.
I actually put that at the